All right, so I want to go into this video. Now, I've been watching this creator. He goes by the name of Aquarius Wave, right? Funny thing is that I'm an Aquarius too, right? But, you know, sometimes Aquarius don't see eye to eye. Aquarius Wave goes into the video of Thomas Sowell exposes black redneck culture. And you're going to see the examples that Aquarius uses. I'm going to just dispel them shits right now. I'm going to dispel them shits right now. I'm going to watch some of the video. And like I said before, the man went to a private school. You feel me? It's like the fucking, what is the fucking movie called? 8 Mile, bruh. It's like you playing a role of understanding black culture, understanding black life, and you ain't really lived black life. Yeah, you knew some niggas. I knew some niggas too. I don't want to get too over passionate about this. The main thing is that there's nuances. Like the whole saying about Robin Hood. I know that Aquarius is one of those black people that believe that wrong is wrong, right is right? But like the Robin Hood thing, you're stealing from the rich, giving to the needy. There's nuances in this shit. Let's just keep it a fucking buck. Yes, you may not like the fact that, they have to do a little bit of bad to get a little bit of good out of shit. It just is what it is, my nigga. But the thing is that I don't like about this situation, when he talks about this shit, it's coming from a first generation type of shit. It's coming from a place of his family is from Zimbabwe, I want to say. And they brought him over here at the age of 10. And first of all, let's just be clear. The fact that he was even to be brought over here, I don't know if he won the lottery. I don't know if he had capital. I don't know if he had family that was already over here that sent him money. All I'm gonna say is all of that is an outlier within itself. Okay, that's not what usually happens with African people. A lot of African people are poor too. The people that come over here are situations like Kamala. Their family have affluence and they have wealth, they have resources, and they have networking. That's not always the case in Africa. I'm pretty sure it's the same way in Zimbabwe. It's the same way in fucking where you at, in the Bay Area. A lot of black people don't leave they fucking state, nigga. You understand what I mean? Like, I know some people that's in Augusta that go to Atlanta and think of it like Six Flags. You feel me? That shit is like bonkers to me. You know what I mean? But I understand wealth, the color of money. You understand what I mean? The color of the law. You know what I mean? But I think that I say all that to say Aquarius Wave is grifting. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I'm gonna just keep it straight up. He's grifting. If you look at his videos and the trajectory of his videos, he's noticing a spike. It's kind of like I did with the AI videos, right? If you are somebody that hates AI, why do you keep making videos off of AI? Huh? Why do you keep making videos if you hate AI? Oh, that could be your take on it. But you so angry, but you just somehow just all of a sudden just started making a whole bunch of AI videos. It's the same thing with this dude when it comes, he's monetizing the black plight, the black culture epidemic. He's monetizing off it. And I think that black people that are gravitating towards videos like that, I think that it's a matter of them needing to be heard, which is understandable. I get it. Even he talks about him needing to be heard and expressing himself, right? But let's just call a spade a spade. Like, you monetizing that shit. And it's cool. If you monetizing that whole black culture is the problem, I get it. I've seen the videos out here. I get it. I understand. I did a video about the Shay Frost. That nigga was doing some weird shit with his mom. I get it. You feel me? But all I'm gonna say is, I'm speaking specifically to black people and to the black people that can notice that you on some bullshit, and it's okay, because as long as black people know that you on some bullshit. It's kind of like the Candace Owens. He speaks about Candace Owens in one of his videos, and how she leaves him in awe because of how her politics leaves him in awe. I don't know. It don't really matter. Candace Owens is invited back to the cookout because of some niggas like Aquarius Wave with Aquarius Wave's background. You know what I mean? I say it all the time, Zora Neale Hurston, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. You understand what I mean? And just like he believes that black people of a certain culture should be casted off, I do believe black black bourgeoisie, I can't even say this shit. Black bourgeoisie, black folks, some of them like Thomas Sowell, him and Aquarius Wave should be like, leave them to their own devices, dog. Like they lost in the sauce, bro. They lost in the sauce. I think that those black people don't believe in racism. It's always a pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's crazy about that pull yourself up by your bootstraps. They'll say that, shit like that, and then they'll quote shit like they'll quote shit like MLK. Meanwhile, the reason why, I'm gonna just be honest with you, the reason why MLK was knocked off is because he said that we going to fucking the government to come and get our check. We're coming to get our check. He started to go into a militant mind state. They didn't like that shit. They wanted your ass to be calm, kumbaya. Go back to kumbaya, nigga. Go back to kumbaya. And then on the other side, with the Malcolm X, you can't say that the government didn't have a part to play in that shit. I know. There's some states, certain conversations where we can't prove that the government had any involvement in the Muslim, in the Islam, that assassination of Malcolm X, which is crazy. Malcolm X started becoming more peaceful and more empathetic to all people. He was very militant and very much, he would rather be segregated from white folks. You know what I mean? And I'll just say that for lack of a better word. But he started, it was a time, and I had a conversation with a brother of the Islam faith, Muslim brother. And he said himself, like, he discussed how once he started, and this is something that they don't usually speak on, but yes, once he started basically disassociating himself from Farrakhan, and he started focusing on Islam, the religion of Islam, and Muslim practices, he started to be more, I guess, open, for lack of better words, of all aspects of the world, of people, of human beings. You know what I mean? Which is crazy, because it's like he was like slowly but surely drifting towards the way that Martin Luther King thought, and Martin Luther King was slowly drifting towards the way that Malcolm X thought. It's the most craziest shit. It's the most craziest fucking shit when you think about it. I say all that to say that this is just a little bit of history of lineage in America. When you come here within the last 60 years, of course you don't give a fuck about that shit. You probably heard like clip notes, you heard like little shorts of what it was, but you didn't do like your due diligence of literally hearing the stories from the people. You know what I mean? You didn't actually watch the PBS documentaries. You know what I mean? It's on YouTube now. You can watch them now. You know what I mean? Videos, not the movies. I wouldn't say too much the movies. Some of the movies are very fantastical, for lack of better words, because movies got to be sold. But the documentaries, them PBS documentaries, boy, they fucking hit. To hear from historians, to hear from activists, to hear from people that were related to, like, I remember this video coming across my feed recently about these people in Mississippi that were still alive in the 70s, and they talk about their experiences of picking cotton for like 50 to 60 years. Now, both the woman and the man were married, but together over a fucking century. So we're gonna go into this video about black rednecks. That shit's so fucking fucked up to even, it's almost like don't trust them new niggas over yonder. That's all I can say, man.
Don't trust them new niggas over there, leaving they nigga essence in the air. Them happy, nappy head niggas with the fingers on the trigger. Don't trust them new niggas over there.
Just talk about something like drug abuse, right? Something that is now promoted in the quote unquote black culture. I guess you can go into the subculture of like hip hop, maybe rap culture, whatever it may be. That is degenerate, right? Just looking at that one thing, let alone now we get.
As much as this country has basically had motherfucking liquor and drugs, you feel me? Not saying it's right. All I'm saying is, if we're gonna say it's degenerate culture, right, and it leads to the inner destruction of people, right, then why, specifically talking about drugs, why is it now all of a sudden motherfuckers getting rich off of drugs. Dispensaries. You probably got a dispensary in your fucking state. But you know what? When it wasn't cool to be dispensaries, basically they're neighborhood drug dealers. But this time, they're white people. They're usually white people nowadays. They got a couple of black spots that have the little vaping spots, the black vape spots in dispensaries. But they're your local neighborhood drug dealers. But it's legalized now. You understand what I mean? So it's like, again, it has to have context with the shit.
I've only read excerpts of the book, but I'm in a place now where I'm like, okay, I'm settling in. I'm getting back in my reading bag, which, I was spending some years truly reading, and a lot of it was business books and things of that nature, but I would get into autobiographies or whatever it may be, and different books on economic.
All right, come on, man.
And to dive deep into these crates, but there's something about going into history and actually reading, that it's not that it's like this information is less important. It's just that there's stuff in there that is, I guess, it's like there's a deeper intentionality that somebody has to sit down and to write this whole damn thing and to research the man's life for 10 years or whatever it is to end up with this work. And so you get the most accurate depiction of what's going on. And of course, we come to our own conclusions. But in most cases, it's like, the history is the history. The truth is the truth. For example, if you don't read on likes of a Thomas Jefferson, you won't actually know that he was an abolitionist even in the 1700s, right? You would think to yourself, well, he was just a slave-owning, black people hating individual, because that's kind of the messaging that is now portrayed in this post-woke society that we live in. But you might not actually understand that he was trying to write the end of slavery into the original Constitution. So anyway, let's get back into it.
Didn't do whites any good. And
he was trying to write the end of slavery while he had slaves. It's like that Bill Burr. It's that Bill Burr joke with the white people to be acting like, I would never do that. I would never do that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. It sounds good, nigga.
Certainly not doing blacks any good today.
I would never do that.
And the tragedy is that people regard this culture as somehow the authentic black culture, and therefore you're not to interfere with it. It's to be allowed to, and so they're cheering people on. It reminds me of a scene in the Blue Max where this general is encouraging this daredevil pilot to do all kinds of wild stunts, you see, knowing that the guy's going to kill himself if he keeps doing this, and therefore the general will be rid of a political problem. Now, I don't think that the white liberals are doing this deliberately, but I think the net results are the same. They are cheering blacks on and doing things that are absolutely self-destructive.
What's the difference between a black redneck and a white redneck?
Color.
Same kind of people, same attitudes.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and same kind of result.
This is one thing I will say. I get the sentiment behind the answer to the question, because both can be ignorant and both can be over emotional, i.e., both can use their anger, rightfully so, can both be mad, rightfully so, right? But use their anger in not so progressive ways, and not so, and I say progressive, I use that term loosely. When I say progressive, it goes back to what I was saying with the DEI shit. Well, black people will get angry at the DEI shit, and they say we should go take all of our dollars and just stop buying Target, not realizing that they're harming black people that's in Target already, and we should focus our money specifically to those brands. And then, if we want to do our own shopping, you know what I mean? Like, it has to be organized. It has to be, boycotting has to be organized. Boycotting is political, so it has to be. You would think that, right? But a lot of the times these campaigns and these movements are run off of emotion and run off of ignorance, because it's like misinformation sometimes on who they should support. Sometimes the black-owned business. I've seen dispensaries that will have a big-ass sign saying black woman-owned shop. And then every day I see the motherfucker opening up that be like literally talking to the black women that own it. Come to find out, this motherfucker is the white dude that is probably putting the funds in the pockets. You understand what I mean? Shareholders, white shareholders, black funded. I mean, black owned. It's a thing. You know what I mean? It's a thing. That's why I don't believe in the whole black capitalism shit. But I'm gonna let him finish.
One of the things I point out in this book is that, as late as the First World War, when mental tests were given in the Army, there were whites from any number of southern states who scored lower on those tests than blacks from northern states. So that anyone who comes out of that culture is likely to score lower on mental tests, to do less well in intellectual areas, whether they're black or white. Among the middleman minorities, of which the Jews are the most prominent, the hostility to these people in countries around the world is out of all proportion to any other kind of group I can think of. In terms of violence, the number of Chinese killed, let's say, in 1 year, and by mob action, exceeds all the blacks lynched in the entire history of the United States.
I'm gonna just leave it right there. I'm gonna leave it right there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go back and play it again. Play it again.
The number of Chinese killed, let's say, in 1 year, and by mob action, exceeds all the blacks lynched in the entire history of the United States.
Now, do y'all really fucking believe that? Do you really fucking believe that? Do you really fucking believe that, dog? Let me hear. I just want to hear him one time.
The number of Chinese killed, let's say, in 1 year.
In 1 year,
and by
Chinese
mob
people
action, exceeds all the blacks lynched in the entire history of the United States.
Do y'all really fucking believe that? And this is what I mean by him. He's gonna co-opt this same dangerous rhetoric. This is why I can't get down with niggas like this, because they still have that fucking African mind state where black people are bad against black people. Listen, I get it. Crime happens when black on black violence. That whole quote, black on black, that's not black on black violence. The right words for this that he should know, I know he knows this shit, is proximity violence. Proximity crimes. If you're in the hood, guess what the fuck is going to happen? If you're in the hood with black people, guess what the fuck is going to happen to you? Black people are going to probably commit crime on you. Because guess what? You're in the hood. It's already poverty stricken. Shit happens, nigga. Niggas get shot every day, B. You tough, right? You'll be alright. Like, I'm being facetious when I say that shit, but it's like, come the fuck on, dog. He said 1 year, Asian people had more crime, I'm gonna make sure, more violence, and I want to say he said death. If he said death, this is fucking wild to me.
Group I can think of. In terms of violence, the number of Chinese killed, let's say, in 1 year.
Killed. So yeah, death. Number of Chinese killed in 1 year is more than all black history. This is why I understand now why people have a spite-fueled hate for motherfuckers like him. And him, Aquarius Wave, for people saying that he reminds them of him, is why you understand why I'm making this video. He's going to go into detail why he agrees.
All the blacks lynched in
I want you to hear his example. Listen to his example.
Again, this is why I love a man like this, because he comes with the facts, right? He is a professor and educator. He is well versed. He's run.
This is what I mean by the academics, black academics failing us, bruh. The NAACP. Listen, all I'm gonna say is most of these motherfuckers that be in the academics, like most of these motherfuckers that go to school, most of these motherfuckers that have the affluence, and I hate to say it, it's a lot of our black women that do this same type of shit where they go to school, get educated, right, and study black politics and don't really understand hood politics. For lack of better words, black people that are in the hood not connecting with them, for lack of better words, you know what I mean? Because of their detachment from the life and the culture of black American people. It's not always fucking dandelions. None of this shit is. And it's not supposed to be. If it was, we wouldn't need politics if it was perfect. But let me let you listen to his example, bro.
Run the numbers. He's run the numbers and he's willing to speak on these things. These are not always easy truths to hear, and that's
It's
why
not a
I
truth.
hear a lot
It's
of
lies.
defensiveness from a host of different
It's
individuals,
lies,
right?
dog.
He just said a statistic right there saying that
He said a statistic with no numbers, no backing, no evidence, no. You can go back to this site. You can go back to this book. You can go back to the research that they did and what group of people that they had. There's nothing. All that we're doing is going based off of what he says. Just like we doing with you right now, Aquarius. Like usually the people that see these videos that I make, they see the stats, and they're probably going to see the stats. I'm going to put the stats on if that's even fucking true. Because you know what? I want you to make sure that you know that I'm not just talking out my ass.
just the attacks upon, you know, Asians, I guess, within the Americas or within the United States of America at a specific time, who were unalived, taken out by black folk, is more than even the black folk who were.
And of course, a man of his background, being from Africa, would say this. This is what I mean by you are being placed against us for no fucking reason because of that type of mind state. And truth be told, I don't even think he cares. I'm gonna just be honest with you. If you want to know what I truly feel down deep in my heart, I don't think he cares, because this is YouTube and this is an attention economy. And to get more clicks, you have to say shit like this. You have to say shit like this about black people, especially in this day and age where you have a motherfucker like Trump in office. You have to say shit like this to get clicks for the silent majority that voted for Trump. Okay? The silent majority that keep going quiet. Keep going quiet when we need them when it comes to their votes. Because let's be clear, white men, white women, they voted at a predominantly high, a sickness. This is a sickness. They voted at a predominantly high, bruh. But him agreeing,
Hung up in trees.
it's like of course you would agree when you don't know the history, when you don't know the context. You know what I mean? Of course you would agree. You'll do research on Thomas Jefferson before you do research on Thomas Sowell or whatever the fuck his name is. You'll do research on Thomas Jefferson before you do research on his ass to figure out, okay, is what he's saying is true. I'm going to give you research on Asian Americans also understanding that they're being used against black Americans in their quote unquote proximity violence rather than the whole Asian. You remember that whole Asian hate crime where they were trying to pin black men as a dominant aggressor against Asian people? You remember that? And it was baffling to see how many black people that would just grab onto that, put that on their profile, not understanding, is this another grift? Is this another way to say black men are monsters? Anti-misandry. I say anti-misandry. Misandry noir, for lack of better words. Misandry noir. Because I would definitely see black women that will latch on to this. I would definitely see them latch on to this. It would be a thing of... I'm gonna stop the video here. I'm gonna listen to a little bit more because I think he goes into detail
And again,
about this.
both are extremely vile acts. Both should have never been a part of our history. But still, when we try to,
I gotta let y'all
categorize
finish,
this one
'cause he
thing,
goes
it's
into the
conversation
slavery.
of slavery. It's always
Yep.
chattel
I'm
slavery.
gonna let it finish. I'm gonna let it
was
finish.
Far worse. You know, we always hear about Willie Lynch letters. Oh, that.
You see where I'm getting at? You see where I'm getting at? This is his mind state. This is his mind state of how descendants of chattel slavery, it was so much worse. He doesn't believe that because his people was not there. He doesn't have histories. He doesn't have grandfathers and grandmothers describing how they couldn't get a house, how they were discriminated against their own fucking family. I had my grandmother tell me a story about how she, because of her dark skin, it makes me mad, bruh. Because of her dark skin, she was literally the black sheep. For lack of better words, I don't know how else to describe it. Because of her dark skin, her mother, literally, I guess she tried to have only light-skinned children. and she was the darkest of the bunch, and she would be treated poorly, for lack of better words. They just cast her away, like they just never mind her ass. Beautiful little girl, you know what I mean? And to understand what that does to a young woman, a young black girl's mind, until she grows into an adult, and then she does things that creates a cycle of hurt. You understand what I mean? Hurt people. And that same vitriol, not understanding what that hurt comes from. Why do I feel this way as a child? But it is what it is. It's the way that it is. And when you describe that, when she was describing that, I was like, she didn't even understand what she was going through. And as I talked to her, she still doesn't. It is what it is. Because what could she do? She couldn't go to a family, obviously. What could she do? And if she was to go to someone outside of her family, they probably take her away and cast her into the adoption system, back into the government, which is basically how we got here. It's sickening to see people do this. I'm gonna let him finish, but he's basically gonna downplay the nature, he's gonna downplay the act of slavery, and it wasn't that, in a sense, to say it wasn't that bad, or everybody did it. And it wasn't such a different. I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm probably gonna say this a couple of times. I'm going to say this. For him to be here in the first place, his family, not even him, because he was brought up. No, because he wasn't born over here. He was literally brought over here, right? So for him to even want to be over here, for him to love the culture that he has somehow been included in, for lack of better words, because it's not his Zimbabwe culture. It's Black American culture. Whether it's good or bad, it's still Black American culture. For him to say that it's kind of like a thing of, he tries to put it in the aspect of everybody did it. No, everybody didn't do it, because if everybody did it, everybody would have the same dollar. They would have the same fucking dollar as America. And all of those other countries that did it, they didn't do it like America did it. Let's stop this shit. Bruh. Because if everybody did it exactly the same way that America did it, and it's just not that big of a deal, it was just a phase that everybody had to go through, every country had to go through. Our slavery in America was built different, nigga. It's levels to this slavery shit. America did some dirty fucking shit. Not just the aspects of the capitalism in it, where how they profited off of the blacks of black people, but also in ways they inflicted fear, PTSD, post-traumatic slave syndrome disorder, like post-traumatic slave syndrome disorder, whatever you want to fucking call it. There's scientists that have even put up like how there can be generations of fear embedded deep inside of a human's DNA. Fear can be deeply rooted in DNA. You do not think that basically there's a fear of white people, a fear of medical, like hospitals, and what they would do to black people in the hospitals, what they still do to this day. There's still black nurses and black doctors and black nurses that basically will say things like, oh, well, we still do not know how to basically differentiate the right amount of Novocaine or the right amount of dosage of drugs to administer to black people compared to white people. And sometimes it's even more of a mind fuck, because they lump all black people together, right? But Aquarius Wave's Black Zimbabwe DNA probably reacts differently to drugs compared to my Black American. And even that, like, there's still differences within the black people, but because they have lumped all of us together, we are not the same. It's, for lack of better words, in Kendrick Lamar's fucking, and in the same thing as one of his videos that he tried to put up, they not like us. He's proving with his words, with his mind state, with his mentality, he's not like us. And that's cool. But don't try to ingratiate yourself and try to act like you cool with the black people and you invited to the cookout. Nigga, you different, bruh. You different. And I get it. Some people may not agree with me, but that's just how I feel about this shit. It's different when you try to make it seem as though, okay, this is an issue. How can we fix it? It's a problem, right? But it's almost like he's finger wagging. It's the Barack Obama shit. It's the Barack Obama shit, and that's why I'm triggered. It's the Barack Obama shit. He'll finger wag in your face why you should be a better black man, then go sit up with Trump laughing and kikiing. You know what I mean? Because it's business as usual. Politics as usual. You a different nigga, bruh. You a different nigga, but it's cool. I already knew that shit. You feel me? And trying to just comprehend, okay, he thinks like this because of this. Okay, he had this type of background. Because I did my research on you, bruh. And like you said before, you're not from here. You said it in this video. You came here at the age of 10. You was put in private school. Let's keep it a buck. He tried to make it seem like he put himself in through school. He put himself through some type of private funding of school. No, your parents was fucking wealthy, more than likely, my nigga. And then you in Cali. You in California. Let's start fucking there. You go from 10 years old to Cali, where it's predominant, like 30% of the homeless population is in California. You understand what I mean? And do we have to go about how much of those homeless people are black? Do we have to? I'll put up the stats anyway. I'm gonna put up the stats. All I'm saying is, bruh, it's very disingenuous with certain black people. And you have to know who's being real and who's actually, when I say grift, who's just saying some shit to get either one of the two things. They're either trying to get black people, black American people they trying to get y'all mad and riled up when you don't agree with this whole black redneck shit or the black conservative shit. Or they're doing the other thing, well, they're riling people up and like, yeah, I agree with him. When he's probably just like Trump. I'm just trying to rile y'all niggas up just because. Just so you can, because once again, the views, bruh, the views. He's getting a lot of views. He's been picking up fast. You understand what I mean? And in this day and age of Trump, this is perfect. This is like food. You'll see him post almost 2 videos every day. You know what I mean? He posts damn near at the same rate as mediocre tutorial reviews. You feel me? Like that nigga posts about if I breathe this morning. I'm being facetious, but
and to me, I say, what kind of treatment is that for any human being? Obviously, they didn't value them as humans. They viewed them as less than human, as even less than some of their own livestock, because they wouldn't even sacrifice some of that livestock in the same way they would a human who was considered a slave. And so, again, these are realities. And this was happening in the Ottoman Empire. This was happening across the entire planet. I mean, you can go into the Americas before the settling of the Europeans, and you'll find that, well, it was the Native Americans that were here enslaving one another.
We talk about everything. We talk about practice. We talk about practice. Not the game. Not the game. Practice. Like, I'm being facetious when I say this, but it's the truth. Y'all, you talking about slavery and other forms of slavery, right? Slavery in the Indian tribe. Slavery in the African tribe. Not the game. Not the fucking 400 to 500 years motherfuckers their fucking testicles being ripped out of their fucking, you understand what I mean? Women burning the labia of the women, making sure that they can't have no motherfucking children. Not that. Not them putting all fucking hands on motherfuckers and then ripping them apart and then slapping the horses, putting them, tying their hands and their feet and their neck on horses. And then slapping the horses and they going in all directions. Not the game. Practice. Not the game.
It's easy to sum it up when you just talk about practice. We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice.
Well, Coach,
I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
be careful on who you choose to give your attention to. Okay? I'm only doing this to help people that follow me or people that Maybe you don't even agree with me. Maybe you agree with him. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to agree with me going forward. I hope that you don't follow me and you agree with him, because if you do, I'm going to just be honest with you. You're probably not going to like a lot of things that I say. And maybe you're one of those people like me where you just listen to people that you disagree with and you can just vehemently be like, okay, it's just something that I don't agree with. It is what it is. Okay. And you could probably make a video about that. You know what I mean? Like, you could probably make your own video, which is cool. But I think as though when it comes to the attention economy, you got to be careful. You understand what I mean? You got to be careful on who you put your attention to, because even people like Candace Owens had a nigga like Kanye West talking about telling Trump that I see you like my daddy. Like, people like Candace Owens had a nigga blow. People like Candace Owens had a nigga blow himself away and also blow a couple of other niggas away. It was a black dude. I'm not sure if y'all know about the story, but it was a black dude that basically killed himself and then he basically said a shout out to Candace Owens in his manifesto. Be careful, man. Be careful. Protect your attention going forward in 2025 and further on in the next decade. Protect your attention, because there are going to be people like Trump that say little keywords here and there, and his staff, even Elon Musk with the whole Hitler shit, with the hand shit. Protect your attention, dog. Protect your attention, because it's going to be slight little things like that that's going to only aggravate people. And attention is the new economy. It's what it is. So protect your attention. I'm telling you this because I just want to let you know, going forward, it's gonna be a rickety ride. It's gonna be a bumpy ride, niggas. So lace on your boots. I'm gonna link the dude in the comment section, in the description of the video. Because like I said before, even though I may not agree with him, I still will credit the creator. But like I said before, I've been watching him for a minute, man. And this is the video that kind of just broke the camel's back, for lack of better words. It just made no sense. Even with that Chinese analogy was just, nah. No, you're not gonna do this, buddy. You're not gonna do this. This ain't it. But if you agree with him, I can't stop you. All I'm saying is, there's devil in the details, and context is key. And the thing about America is, they always seem to leave out the actual stats, the actual details. They don't give you the fucking papers, the research, the doctors, the articles, the books, color of law, racism by another name. You understand what I mean? Color of money. You understand what I mean? It's always, people like black academics and what they say. It's always, people like him, people like Candace Owens, and because of them gaining popularity with the people, then whatever they say is law. No, do your research, even on the people that you do agree with. Do your research. Find them stats on the people that you do agree with. I'm gonna put the stats up in this video, but like that, we gone, man. I just wanted to say that. And take care of yourselves, black people. I love y'all, man. I fucking love y'all, for real, for real. I do want y'all to take care of yourselves, man, for real, for real. Even the motherfuckers that get me ignorant, get me mad, like this motherfucker. Like, I got love for all y'all niggas, but it's like, y'all be like I said before, that tricking shit, that trickery shit. Y'all can miss me with that. That shit gets my blood boiling. Black people that trick other black people that hurt other black people, that get my blood boiling, man. But I can understand the ignorance in it, you know what I mean? But I don't think this is a case where it's ignorance. You know what I mean? I think this is a case where he's playing on the aspect of it, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Y'all just protect yourselves, man. Like that, we gone. Bun.